All right. So did you read up on the robot cash much?
Though I read the article you sent, I all week I've been busy, so I'm not too up to date on it. But it,
I mean, it's not much has changed. What I thought was interesting. So the whole, everybody's into getting the new graphics cards because they want to do the cryptocurrency mining, make that money because Bitcoin prices went up. What I thought was really interesting was Bitcoin prices actually went down a few days ago, from like $12,000 per Bitcoin to 6,000, right in half.
oh wow, dude,
Yeah.
that probably means GPU prices are gonna go down again, maybe.
No, but
Or
then actually a couple of days ago, or I think maybe a day ago, yesterday, stock market prices started going down, and the Bitcoin price went back up. So now, right now, as we're speaking now, the Bitcoin is 8,000 per Bitcoin.
wow,
So
yes,
my original thought was talking about how how it's going to affect people with the Bitcoin, with the whole cryptocurrency bubble popping, but it's just going back up now that the everything else is going down.
that
Such
was pretty crazy. Wow.
It's yeah, big gamble. I mean, what's going to be really nice about the robot cash, and except like I've talked to other people about it, is that Steam is going to have to really up their game or do something big changes because not only does so the developers only have to pay 5% to the platform to have their games on there, but then also you have the ability to resell your digital copy of your games, which is going to be a nice feature for everybody. And then
That's gonna
they'll
be pretty
yeah,
awesome.
and developers will still get a cut of the resell.
Okay, wow.
And then you also be with all this cryptocurrency mining, you can use their software to mine for cryptocurrency and have that converted into what they're going to call iron and buy games that way. So instead of having to always pay your own cash, you can mine for money and make and pay that way. So pretty much getting free games.
Damn, I think it's gonna be abused pretty good though. But
I mean,
it's a pretty good system. I mean, that's yeah. If this really
if
kicks off,
yep,
Steam's in trouble.
and they're predicting to have it released quarter 2 of this year, so around summertime. I think
Wow.
I think it's going to be a real big. So either I don't know if either Steam is going to start rolling out like reselling of your digital copy of games, or lowering percentage wise. With Steam, you had the developers have to pay them. Steam gets 30% of the cut versus 5%. So I could,
Wow.
yeah. So it's a big difference there.
Ooh. Yeah, I know you can't sell your games on Steam. The most
Right.
you can do is you play for under 3 hours, you can get a refund. But it's like sometimes you don't know
The
how good a game
only
is
only real option
until
is if you have a huge Steam list, selling your Steam account to somebody, which is technically illegal, but people still do it. So that you have 300 games, like I'm never gonna play this game. I'm gonna sell this account to somebody, make some of your money back. You won't make all of it back, but
yeah, you just gotta make sure like you don't tell anyone else, and then the person that buys your account is not like, yeah, this guy sold me their account, and then it
yeah.
gets banned. Then it's no good.
I
But
mean, they as long as you get the money,
it's true. But this is a more legal approach, so that's at least
Right.
pretty good.
So I mean, I don't know why people haven't really been talking about it much, but I'm guessing more and more people are waiting for it to actually release before they start, saying anything about it. But based on what's the information that's out there, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things people are not sure. It's still it's got to kick off, and
Right.
things like supporting Indiegogo Kickstarter projects, people are very skeptical because of
Right.
the sometimes they fail, and then people don't get the product, or they don't get what they're advertised, or they
So
can't just
right now,
refund
most things like
money.
Kickstarters or Indiegogos, whatever, they also have the Steam Greenlight. People are used to all of that, so it's gonna be a while because you have already Steam, then you have GOG. You also have every like Ubisoft's own separate thing, EA's own
Yeah,
separate thing.
I hate Ubisoft and EA. It's crap,
uh, yeah, I mean they're now everything's about loot boxes.
Oh yeah, but I mean, their digital distribution. EA has Origin, and I just don't like the way it works compared
Yeah.
to Steam. Ubisoft or Ubisoft's thing is just, I don't know. For me, it's garbage. It just doesn't work like I want it to.
Right.
'Cause you can buy a game on Steam, and then you have to launch it through the Ubisoft launcher, and you're like, what am I doing? And then there's more DRM, so you can only install it or uninstall it 3 times before you have to call support and then say, hey, I have to reinstall my game, and my account got locked up, or my PC got locked up or something, and I'm stuck. What do I do?
And after you gave them your money for the game, they don't really give a shit afterwards.
True. I mean,
And speaking about like Ubisoft, did you hear about their new thing they're rolling out called SAM?
Sam? Wait,
Yeah, so
what is this?
This artificial intelligence thing. So it's basically Ubisoft's version of like Alexa or Galaxy or whatever. So basically, you say, "Hey, how many hours have I put into Assassin's Creed?" It tells you how much, or who's online right now playing what game, and then basically just your automated assistant.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
I'm the minute I saw this, like, wow, that's great, but who's actually going to use it? I mean, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah. I don't care much for it. Is it like for everything or just PC?
For everything Ubisoft related, so it's going to be a mobile app that you can, hey, down, who's online right now, whatever.
Nah, I'm not gonna use it. It's just another thing I don't need to get into and then kind of be disappointed in.
Well, I mean, if you're not actually playing Ubisoft games, it's really pointless. And
I don't play too much, but the ones I do want are on PC, but they have their own stupid way of doing it. Like Assassin's Creed, you gotta be connected to the internet, and people can pirate the game, and they can play just fine. But you buy the game, oh no, like you're fucked. You're fucked worse than people that pirate it.
Yeah,
I really hate that.
Well, I mean, the big issue is that they've just made a bad name for themselves, just like EA and anybody else. I mean, EA is probably the worst of them all, obviously. I mean, they're like way.
Yeah.
But Ubisoft is there with them. And then you also have, people like Peter Molyneux from the Lionhead Studios, with the Fable games and stuff like that.
Actually, what happened with them? I haven't heard about another Fable or anything.
Well, they're actually talking about a Fable 4. Peter Molyneux is not going to be a part of it because he's out. He's out. So it's going to be a Microsoft control of producing the game. We don't know. They haven't really said anything about what's going to be in there, but possibly 2019.
I played the first one. I liked it a bunch, and then I was never able to try 2 and 3, but I always wanted to get those games.
I'd say if you want to play them, the only one worth playing after 1 is 2, and then 3 is garbage. And then they have Fable Legends, and then they also I think also that one of the Fable games was the 361 where you use the motion camera, like you sit there.
Wait, so your motion camera or
the
like remote?
The Kinect.
Oh, Kinect. Okay.
Yeah. So
I just I never had the opportunity to use that. Like
the Kinect was just a big old. It was a novelty item, really, and I thought it was really funny how when the Xbox One first came out, they decided, hey, they're all gonna you have to have Kinect to get on your Xbox One. Originally, and then the whole, I mean, there was one reason why the sales were really bad at the beginning. Then they said the DRM stuff where you can't sell your copy of your game back to GameStop, whatever. There's no trading it in. Once you have it, you're the only one who can use it. And Sony comes out and said, you can trade it, you can let people borrow your games, you can resell it.
Oh,
mic drop.
I remember that. Wasn't there a video with it was former CEO Kaz Hirai, and then they're demonstrating, oh, here's my PS4 game, I'm going to lend it to a friend.
Yeah.
Hand him the disc. Yeah,
That was it. It's the
that's when
same thing. Sony did the same thing when the Sega Saturn was announced. So Sega Saturn was announced, like, yeah, it's gonna come out. So it actually came out early, too early, and all these developers weren't even ready. Like, what the heck are you guys doing right now? um, but the reason for that was a failure of the Sega CD and the 32X at the time. But so they announced, hey, we're releasing Sega Saturn soon. It's gonna be $300.
Oh, wow.
300 or $400, which was a lot at the time. And then Sony had a huge. The president at the time had a huge speech, but he just came up, said $200, walks off stage.
Man, that takes me back. I had the Saturn. My uncle bought me one. It was I loved it. The games were just
The Saturn
one of a kind.
I think Saturn had one of the best controllers.
Yeah, it
Honestly.
was perfect too for fighting games. Like
Yeah,
the
fighting-
best D-pad
everything.
ever. Like I don't know if you played with the new Nintendo controllers, like the Switch Pro controller, but the D-pad is shit. It's like everything else is
What's
awesome.
sad, the Pro
sucks.
controller for the Wii U is so much better than the Switch one.
Yeah,
It's a console everybody didn't want.
yeah. It's actually the Wii U is considered dead at this point, and Nintendo's actually porting all their good games over to the Switch.
Which is fine
So-
by me. So if nobody wants the Wii U, that means all the games that I wanted are going to be really cheap now.
Oh, so you're one of the consumers that bought a
I-
Wii U?
I've had a Wii U since day one.
Hmm. I wanted one for some time, but then the prices never dropped, and I knew like the Switch was coming, or it was called the NX. You know, that's the
it was
game.
yeah. And then they said, when I went, so that year I got my tax return, went to GameStop out there in Brooklyn, in New York City, and just get a couple of PlayStation 3 games, whatever. Then they said, yeah, this big old sign for a Wii U. It's like, what is this Wii U? I mean, we already have the Wii. Is it so the biggest problem with the Wii U is there was confusion. Is it an add-on or is it its own system? Nobody really knew.
Yeah.
There wasn't really good marketing for it, and then came out at the weirdest time. I mean, I know tax season is a good time for stuff to come out, but if you don't have the marketing, nobody's ready for it. And then the lack of third-party support killed it.
Yeah, that's. I heard it was hard to develop for, just like the
I
second
mean, in the
screen.
beginning,
and-
you had was it? I think Arkham City that came out on there. Then you had games like Zombie U, and
Yeah. I think there was a Ninja Gaiden 3 or something like that.
I believe
but-
so.
I know there was some. It looked like it had a strong lineup at the start, but then it just kept declining or something.
I think it ended strong though. So you had Xenoblade Chronicles X. I mean, for anybody who's into role playing, at least. The Super Mario games that are on there were mediocre at best, so you really couldn't count on that. The Mario Kart game was good.
Oh, we got that one on Switch, so
Yep.
yeah, we could play that.
Yeah. The Tokyo Mirage Sessions I thought it was good, which was one of the hidden gems for that time period right there. A couple of years ago, nobody wanted to get it. I mean, how can you go wrong with Shin Megami and Fire Emblem in one game?
Actually, I didn't even know such a game came out because I didn't know much about Wii U. I just never had one. I was just like, oh shit, it has like a bunch of interesting games.
Yeah.
Like now that I look at the library,
I think you're more focused on your PSP and 3DS, weren't you?
I was playing. Well, actually, I think I sold my PSP back in the day.
Or-
I got another one, but I got a Vita.
Yeah, the
yes,
PS Vita.
it was a Vita and a 3DS, and then I upgraded. I think I upgraded both of them. Like I have a new 3DS, and I bought a. What was the Vita 2.0 Slim? Yeah, Slim Vita. It was
they were pretty thick when they came out.
Yeah, the first Vita was super thick, and then the Slim one was a lot better in size. except the screen wasn't as good. No OLED,
Yeah.
but everything else is just awesome.
Everybody's, like I said, not just mine, but most people I talk to, the problem with the PS Vita is ridiculous memory card prices.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I bought a 64 gig, and probably if you bought one, if they had a 64 at launch, it probably would have costed near 200, 300. But they had a 32 gig, and that was $100. I actually
Yeah.
had to pre-order one at GameStop because they would not sell one if you didn't pre-order it. They would only
Right.
sell up to 16 gig. And then when I did get the 64 gig, when it was, when it came down in price on Play Asia, it was almost 100. And after yeah, I know, after a year, it just started not working right. Games would corrupt, and so I got rid of my Vita. I was just frustrated. Like, the prices were insane, but the memory cards just were even worse. The performance of the
Yeah.
memory cards. So good
They've
system,
actually,
but shit memory.
They've made a mod that if obviously if you get a new one and you do the mod, it avoids the warranty, but you can mod it so you can use the micro SD cards.
I did see that. Actually, I wouldn't mind getting another Vita just to hack it and then use that mod. 'Cause it looks like it would be a great hack machine. Like,
Yeah.
I would still try to play games legitly if I could, but if not,
Right.
fine.
I mean, they had really good games. The Vita has really good games. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the price of those memory sticks to save your games. I mean,
Yeah, people are saying, there's no games, man. And like, I just
so
tend to
one,
disagree.
you have the option of paying. You get the PS, the PS Live Gold, the PS Gold, whatever, PS Plus, PlayStation Plus,
Yeah.
and you get a game for free every month. There's a bunch of games you're getting all year round. 12 games in a year. And it has a pretty good lineup. It's just, like we said, the price of the memory stick, and then from the collector standpoint, those Vita cases are so small for the games.
Oh, yeah, those are super small, and actually, I would say my favorite thing about the Vita is probably the controls. Like, I love my fighters, and there's plenty of fighting games to play. The D-pad is amazing. The buttons are great. The controls are better than anything on the Switch, like the Joy-Con controls or the Pro controller.
Right.
If I could have the same controls on my Switch, like, that would just be a 11-10 system for me. It would just be perfect.